Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've got your cup of coffee next to you, cup of tea, glass of water, detox water, whatever it is, because this show is going to rock your boat. At least I know it's going to rock mine. We're talking about natural hair, and we're getting into all the things that you need to know as a beginner. If you're just coming into this new phase of your life or thinking about it, then you're going to want to take a pen and paper and start taking notes. I've got a natural hair enthusiast here with me. Her name is Lyn Sheri, and she has the most voluptuous, wavy, beautiful, thick, long hair. I mean, I think you tick every box of like hair goals. Long, check. Thick, check. Like body, everything. Oh, God.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's such a
It's
pleasure.
been a journey, though.
It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
And to get to know what it took to what it takes for your hair to get to where it is today. But before we even dive into all the tips, as you can see, we're going to get into that. I have to ask how tell me about your big chop. Why did you cut your hair? When did you cut it? Tell me everything.
All right. So first, thanks for having me. I'm a fan of your show. So, wow, it's a story. I've actually never fully shared this like on screen.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when I first went natural, I actually had that deep sense that God asked me to, like, just chop it. So I had perm hair, relaxed hair, and it was okay. Like, I didn't have challenges with it. It was long as well.
When did you relax your hair?
My first application was when I was 15. Which I'm grateful for.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a theory that if you did it preteen and below, you tend to have challenges with growing it. I hear a lot of people who have those challenges tend to have permed earlier. It's my theory, it's not scientifically proven, but I need someone to help me prove it. But I really, really believe it.
So 15 you relaxed, and so how long had you had relaxed hair?
I think I was 22 or 23.
Okay, so then you decide, you feel that God is telling you that that you should cut your hair.
But what's so funny is, as much as I wasn't attached to my hair that much even then, when I heard or felt that sense, I was like, wait, what? My hair?
And when you sensed that, was it just cut your hair or cut your hair and go natural?
It was cut my hair.
Okay.
I didn't know anything else beyond that. It was that simple. It was chop it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but why? So I kind of struggled with it for like a month. And then one day I could not stand it. It's like it was burning my head. I was done. I walked into a salon and said, hi, please, is there someone to chop my hair? And they're like, the person for chopping is not here. I don't care. It's just cutting it. Just do it. And it was done. And I looked crazy on the first day or first
But how did you
week.
feel?
Liberated. I didn't expect to feel liberated. I did. I felt very liberated. So this is what they don't tell you about the big chop though.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you get into it, but more often than not, you'll have a phase for maybe 2 days or 2 weeks or a month where you ask yourself, what the hell did I do? I look like a boy. I've lost my femininity. What was that? What was I thinking? So there's a lot of people who quickly like braid or weave to cover it up so that they don't have to do with it.
Yeah.
I went through that for like 2 days.
Okay.
There are people who even cry.
Yeah.
I didn't get there. But I was over it in 2 days and I was like, wow, well, this is it.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. But it was very liberating
after
that.
Okay. And so can you tell us, before you did the big chop, had you started to think about what things you would need? Did you try and source for info, like where, what should I consider before or right after I chop my hair?
I actually did, but it wasn't so in depth. I didn't go so deep before I cut it. Okay. But I had done that, and especially because I had, I think, 1 or 2 friends who are natural. Yeah. And they weren't exactly encouraging of it. They were, especially for a lot of newbies. Yeah. It's not easy. It's a bit of stress. So I had that introduction, but I did just minimal research for myself because I wasn't even sure what I was cutting my hair for or where it was headed to. But once I did, that's when it's like, I just knew. Okay. This is what I need to do. And I devoured so much information in my first 2 years. So much experimentation happened in that period now after. Okay. Yeah.
So now in retrospect, what would you share with someone who's thinking about going for the big chop? And how would you guide them? Like, what would you say, this is what you should expect, and this is how you should prepare yourself?
It depends. You don't necessarily have to do the big chop.
Yeah.
You can transition. Those are two ways to go natural.
Right.
And there are a lot of people who tend to do that either intentionally or accidentally. Like you just grow out hair and then you're like, I have a lot of natural hair. Let me just cut the rest.
Right. So you don't necessarily have
like twa.
Twa,
Exactly.
which
the teeny weeny afro.
Teeny weeny afro. Twa. Yes. Okay.
So, but if you do decide that you want a big chop, I'm a proponent of it.
Okay.
And this is why. So the pros is that you get to start from scratch. So a lot of the hair you have, even the one that is natural at the bottom of, let's say, your perm, because you might have a little bit, you weren't treating it the right way. So when you get to start from scratch, you get to grow your hair afresh, start giving it the right care from the ground up.
Yeah.
Then too, you learn your hair. So if you end up with long hair, that you didn't even know how to take care of, natural hair, you can be very overwhelmed because you have no idea what you're doing with it.
Right.
So for me, my experience was I had more confidence with handling my hair because I'd grown with it. So my skills grew with the length. As it grew in length, I grew in my skills, I grew in my confidence in handling it and in wearing it out. Okay. And then, of course, it's fun. Guys, it's actually fun to have short hair. In fact, you might refuse to get out of that phase.
Actually, as we sit here, you should know that the people behind the lens, one, they're all women, and two, they all have short hair.
Yes, short natural gorgeous hair.
Short natural hair. And it's like, I guess at some point I wish you could ask him, like, why?
Guys, I'm at home here. I could just live here.
Come in and like tell us, why are you all short? But I see that and I feel it too sometimes. Like I sometimes wonder, like, do I really want it long? And then I see you, I'm like, yeah.
There's that.
Yes.
You get back to the phase.
Yeah.
But so you can enjoy the short hair and you have room to play with it at that time because you're not attached to it anymore. By the way, you're like, it's short, I can chop it again, I can color it, I can do everything with it.
Yeah.
So the cons are that you probably are not prepared for the reactions everyone will give you.
Okay.
Okay, let me start actually with yourself. You're not prepared for the looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at yourself with short hair. If you've never had hair that short, it can take you aback.
Yeah.
So like I said, there are people who've gone through an emotional. It can be emotional at that point.
Yeah.
But then there's also another reaction of everyone else. So even if you might not have had it, then there's everyone like family looking at you like, how are you gonna get a man with that hair? You look like a boy. You get so many unsolicited negative comments. I think that's actually the main thing that people should know. And then the final thing with BC is if you're going to big chop, just start.
I feel like we need. She's BC, such a natural enthusiast that she's like throwing out these letters and.
I'm so
like,
sorry.
BC, no, it's fine. Teach us. BC big chop. So if you're going to go for the BC,
you should also do a bit of research.
Okay.
If you know you're going to do it, it's good to just have some information at hand. So I feel like there's a lot of people who go natural maybe because of the expectation that their hair will look like somebody else. Like, oh, if I go natural, my hair will look like Lyn's, or it will look like, or like Sharon's, and then they're disappointed when it doesn't.
Right.
And they didn't necessarily do some research to know how to take care of their hair.
Okay.
So understand that your hair has its own a life of its own.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. It will rock your world if you take care of it yourself. So it rewards you when you give it care. So
I love that.
Try and make effort to doing personal research for the hair.
Okay. So speaking of researching your hair, how does one get to know their hair type? And is it important to even understand what hair type you are?
Yeah, so that's an interesting discussion, I think, even in the natural hair community.
Yeah.
I would say it's a 50-50. There are people who believe like that's just trash. I don't need to know about it. It's not important. My hair is my hair.
Yeah.
And there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
And then there's others on the other flip side, where I was for a long time, where I'm like, it's important to know your hair type because it helps you understand the techniques you use to style it, and it'll help you understand the products that will work better for your hair. Over time, I've realized that you need a balance of both. So it's good to have an idea of the hair type you have, but don't get stuck at the hair type because I was stuck at, I have 4A, so my hair is gonna look like natural 85.
Yeah.
It never did.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever will, and I'm okay with that now.
Right.
Because I also, I have a feeling that it's now 4AB.
Okay.
then there's this strange thing that, you know, because we're human.
And I even have to like stop you there for a moment because I think for a lot of people it might be confusing, and it's hard to really dive into what, you know, Lyn is saying. For A, for B, what is that? But you have A, this is where the research comes in because it's hard to even break it down now. But essentially what it means is that there's different wave patterns, or maybe you could break it down.
So basically a hair type, from how we understand it, is that it's a different curl pattern of your hair. So it's basically how your hair curls naturally. It actually ranges from one is bone straight hair, like bone straight, like they really will work hard to get any curls, and that's usually Caucasian hair. 2 is wavy, so they're again Caucasian people who have really naturally occurring wavy hair.
Yeah.
And then type 3 gets to become a bit more coily, or rather let me say curly, it becomes a bit more curly. And then type 4, which is where most Africans belong in the category, it's now kinky. So basically it gets tighter. So imagine you have 1 is a straight, it's bone straight hair, 2 is like a wavy, 3 is like coily, you know, coily, and then 4 is now like really. And this is why we experience shrinkage as Africans. So we're always like, oh, African hair doesn't grow. It does. There are people who have long hair. I mean, even for me, there are people who don't really realize how long my hair can be.
Oh my God.
Because of shrinkage. You get because of that. So that's what hair type basically is.
Okay, interesting. So I need to ask, there's certain things that people chase when they're on their hair journey.
Yes.
And I have to ask for tips. Oh, you've gone through every single thing. Okay, so I've got to ask for tips. What should one do or not do when what they're trying to go after is length? And I've just seen, can you just pull that like strand of hair one more time? Because
I don't even know which one it was. But okay.
But even that's good enough. Look at that. Look at that. It's so long. Okay, so what should
length chasers do?
Length chasers do.
Yeah. So length chasers, let me say this for all chasers, all types of chasers, health of your hair is paramount. That's the first and foremost.
Okay.
If you're not giving your hair the right care, it doesn't matter what you're chasing, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
You're just not. For length chasers, it's pretty simple if you ask me. Minimum manipulation. Minimum hair manipulation means you're not constantly styling it, you're not constantly bothering it with your hands and all kinds of and manner of hairstyles.
Yeah.
You probably want to do a lot more protective styles, but good protective styles. Why I say this is, a protective style is basically a style that keeps your hair away.
Right.
So you're not going to, it's not going to be open to the elements, which is, heat, rain, cold, and all that.
So that's like braiding, weave, wig,
exactly,
things like that.
And even there's long-term and short-term ones. So there's also like twists, just twist with your own hair, or melazo. They call them melazo, the lines which people like doing, and then they put their wig on top. So that's a protective style in itself. The important thing is to make sure that your protective style is also not working against you.
Okay.
So crochet took Kenya by storm at some point, and it was a really amazing protective style until it went mainstream, and it's being used so badly. So there's so many women with hairline damage that breaks my heart.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. What about that? If you've got like a receding hairline because it's been damaged, what should one do to reverse that if that's what they're chasing?
All right. I recommend, which I also recommended to the ladies here, Jamaican black castor oil. Okay, to be just simple, it's castor oil, but I prefer Jamaican black castor oil. There are brands in, cosmetic shops, you'll find them. I think even supermarkets now, like guys, we are so mainstream now.
So then, and why is that? What does it do?
It has a component that basically stimulates your hair follicles.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll help reverse thinning edges.
It does. And also it helps with the hair growth. So I was going to go back to say that you also would want to take care of your scalp. One way to do that is keep it clean. Yeah. And also apply a mixture of oils. I have one, I'll show you. Okay. That actually has castor oil in it. Massage it to your scalp. So you're length chasing, massage your scalp. It stimulates your follicles. It feels really great. Yeah. And it'll give you some length.
What if volume is what you're chasing?
Castor oil again.
Oh,
it's so
really?
crazy.
Like, and you put it all over your...
So I'll just tell you this about castor. It's so, I think they call it viscous. It's so thick. So you kind of need to mix it with something else, with a carrier oil. Okay. Carrier oil being any other lighter oil.
Like
it could be olive oil,
avocado. Yeah. So, and what about...
So apply it to the strands.
Okay.
And for sure, it actually just gives that volume almost automatically, just because of the nature of the oil, but also with time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And split ends, I guess that you can just, the only way to do that is to cut it. If you keep getting a lot of split ends.
Oh, let me tell you, split ends and damage, don't hold on to dead hair. It's never going to be reversed.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. By the way, do not be attached to it, especially if you're trying to get length.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just
split
chop
ends.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So we've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into all these products that are beautifully sprawled on this table and try and figure out what to use and when to use it. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about natural hair and specifically focusing on what beginners need to consider when they're just about to big chop or right after, because it can be very confusing. And right now there's so much online and you don't even know where to start. And my guest is a natural hair enthusiast. She's so passionate about it. And the last segment, I was just like, you completely get every aspect of this. So the perfect person to have here. Her name is Lyn. And now we're getting into the products. So, because it can be so confusing and because there's so much on the shelves these days, can you guide us? What are like the basics for a beginner so that we don't end up buying and spending so much money on products that we don't necessarily need? So what do we need?
I am such a strong proponent of what you just said. Don't buy everything, and that's why people assume natural hair is expensive, because you buy the entire range of God knows what. You don't even know what does what.
Yeah.
Don't do it. So yes, there are bare minimums.
Yeah.
So I always like starting with water. It's free. You get it from your tap.
Yeah.
You can just package it in a cute bottle like this. I got this from a Spa Cosmetics, but you can get them in supermarkets.
Why water?
Exactly. Water is natural hair's best friend.
Okay.
It's the first and the best element of moisture that you can give to your hair. So this is, it's just the best thing to have. So what you can now do is you can go an extra mile and mix certain things into it.
Yeah.
So you may not know, but I have rose water in here too.
Oh.
The reason I put rose water, though, this is just a random tip, is because it's a humidifier.
Okay.
It basically can take moisture from the air and bring it to your hair during a hot season. So you don't want to use it during the cold season, though. It'll do the opposite. But in the hot season, it's great, and it keeps my hair from browning. I don't know why, but that's yeah.
Speaking of water, I just remember how I used to be scared of water. It's like a vampire with sun. With relaxed hair, I used to be like, ah! No, literally I'd be like a vampire. And then now, like with natural hair, I'm like, yeah, because you hear water is great. So I'm like, yeah. If it rains,
you
rains,
almost
it's not like the worst.
I don't run from the rain. If I forgot my shower cape when I'm traveling, I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
And we're good.
Interesting. Okay, so
that's water.
Yeah.
And then you definitely need like a repertoire of oils.
Okay.
But to start out, keep it simple. Just buy yourself sweet almond oil from the supermarket. Actually, I like mine, the one that's it's Allison's.
Okay.
They have it in all the shelves.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love how it smells.
Sweet almond oil.
Yeah, and it's a light oil.
Okay.
So it's great to have.
Yeah.
Then you can have, of course, olive oil. This is actually cooking oil. Like I take it from the kitchen.
So
I'm not even lying.
interesting.
And then we put it in nice cute jars like this because they look cute.
Yeah.
Same thing with the coconut oil. It's from my kitchen.
Coconut oil, I've heard so much about it that it leaves me confused.
And
like,
let me tell you,
before
it
I
is
used
confusing.
to think it is the holy grail of oils. And then the more I heard about it or listened to friends talk about it, the more I think, wait, you don't like it? Doesn't work?
So I'm one of those.
Okay.
So coconut oil is great as a sealant. What I mean is, the daily habit that most people should get into is moisturizing their hair with the LOC method, liquid oil cream method. So liquid here is this.
One more time. LOC.
Yes.
Liquid oil cream. Liquid is water.
Liquid is water or leave-in. Or a leave-in
leave-in
conditioner, like one like I have here.
Yeah.
So you can use that or this. I'm a fan of water. Sometimes I'll mix the leave-in into it. Okay. Then oil is where you now use like your
olive oil, sweet almond, or
no.
Oh,
so
wait, coconut is in a.
So I would now use it as the cream part. So cream is the sealing. So what you've done is you've infused your hair with moisture, and then you want to seal it so that it doesn't disappear into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So people would use like a cream.
Okay.
Or a butter.
Yeah.
So there's you can use them interchangeably depending on what your hair likes.
Yeah.
I actually would use coconut oil. because that's how heavy it is. It basically will seal and hold the moisture in, but it doesn't necessarily put moisture into your strands. Not on a daily basis anyway. For me, that is. So I always recommend, if you're starting out, you might also want to do that, because you might get frustrated thinking, oh, my hair is not being moisturized, and yet I'm using the holy grail, which is coconut oil.
So what butter is this again?
So this is shea butter. Actually, it's a mix. It's a mix of shea butter and cocoa butter and oils. It's natural, but you can always buy. They're nice store-bought ones that you can get, or you can basically, you know, whip one yourself. If you're up to the challenge. Of the DIY job.
That's where for me, you lose me when it's like make these things at home, and like it's just like, wow, that's a lot of work.
If I do DIY, it's very bare minimum. So one of the other products I recommend for people is a protein treatment. And
why protein?
So protein it basically is important for your hair because it coats the shaft of your hair. Which means it gives it strength. It strengthens it. But it is a bit of you should be cautious with it, because different people have different protein sensitivities. So your hair might really just not like it at all. So which means you need to do it very infrequently, maybe like every 3 months.
Every 3 months protein treatment.
Or it can work well for you. For me, it's fine. I can do it every month.
Because essentially what you're saying is that it strengthens your hair. It coats the shaft. It strengthens your hair. And I'm such a fan of using mayonnaise. Salad. Eating mayonnaise. I'm not even kidding. Because it's got the protein. So protein treatment, and what other kind of, or would you recommend a different kind of treatment?
For protein?
No. Besides protein.
So the other treatment I would recommend is definitely a deep conditioning treatment or a moisturizing treatment. This is a personal favorite of mine. But there are so many, again, in the market that you can use. And they're affordable. They're like 300 bob or less. I'm actually a fan of Kenyan-made products. So you can get really good ones at very affordable prices. Then I would say finally, you should have, of course, like a shampoo. Or a shampoo bar.
That is so fancy.
I like the way it sounds fancy, right? It's just sabuni, but made by shea. But it's
it's only shea butter or what?
They tend to mix it with shea butter. They put certain oils, and then they put the components that make it soapy. I can't remember the name.
Does it lather? And
even if it doesn't, it can make your hair very clean.
It's still clean, so it doesn't mean that lather equals.
Exactly. In fact, these ones are a lot. I would recommend these more than I would a regular shampoo. But again, it depends on your hair type. So for me, I use these occasionally, but I actually like a clarifying shampoo because product can just sit on my hair. So I need it to sort of strip it out. But anyone else might use the same shampoo I use and say it dries out their hair. Finally, conditioner. Oh my gosh, guys, if you do not hear anything in this from all my products, just buy conditioner and condition your life. Condition all of it. All of it, everywhere, everyone.
Condition your life. Okay, wait, I have a question, because I don't understand why go through the shampoo and then condition and then put the treatment.
The shampoo basically cleans.
That I get.
The conditioner actually it adds slip to our hair. Slip, S-L-I-P. Which basically means it becomes easier to like detangle and a bit more malleable. But it also infuses hair with moisture. I feel like conditioner is one of the best things you can use after water that gives your hair some good moisture. And then the deep conditioner does the same, but now on another level. But guess what? I actually cheat on my wash days, and I just mix the two. And so after shampoo, I just put the two at the same time. And I leave it in for like 15 minutes, and then I rinse, and I'm like, yeah, guys, I washed my hair, and I conditioned and deep conditioned it too.
See, we've got other tools here. So let's get into, we've done products, let's get into the tools.
All right, so when it comes to natural hair, first of all, let me just talk to my sisters. You who comb your hair every day, why? Why do you do that? If you're chasing length, do not comb your hair daily. It's just a sin. So as you can see me right now, I combed it once the day I washed it. I'm not going to comb it again until I wash it.
So when did you do that?
I did it this morning.
This morning. So after this, you won't comb it again for another 2 weeks?
Or well, the next time I wash it. So it's either a week or 2 weeks. No combing it.
So you'll just be twisting or like...
Nope. So what I'll be doing is I'll be holding it up in a bun. That's called like the pineapple, because you look like a pineapple head. And then I use my satin
bonnet.
This cute thingy. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I have a number of these. Or a silk satin scarf. Like you can use either.
Okay. And then so then when you put
in the morning I'll just take down the band and then I'll spritz the hair with a bit of water and then I'll take, my oil and then sort of help it down, but it'll fall. It's just that by a week's time, it becomes tired. Okay. That's all. So I keep it up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I see combs
so
here.
yes. So as much as I said, so basically don't comb it daily.
Right.
But when you do get to comb it, that's the day you're detangling.
Yeah.
Please use product on your hair. So have water, at least let it be like, I kind of drench mine. So kind of have it damp or drenched.
Yeah.
And then if you can go that extra mile and add like conditioner. I actually do a mixture of conditioner and oil, like a pre-poo. A pre-poo is a pre-shampoo.
Okay.
Basically, it's putting products in your hair before you do the cleansing, because the cleansing or the cleaning tends to strip it of moisture. Okay. So I do that to help it to detangle. So once you do that, please make sure, if you're going to use a comb, you better use a white tooth comb. Okay. I swear you can get this on a street in Nairobi, like literally hawkers on the floor. That's where I bought mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And many cute colors.
And it's good because it breaks your hair less.
It does, but also your hair, yes, and your hair responds better to a white tooth comb. You will not comb your hair with this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this already scares every African girl. Every single African girl gets scared looking at this. Yeah. You will not. You'll use this. But do you know what the best detangler is? Yeah. It's actually your fingers. There are people who, this is another very amazing, I personally like this one when I'm detangling. So you can use either because they just have different designs.
And did you use it today to get like?
I did for lift. No, I don't do the lift.
Oh,
I don't
need to do the lift. Sorry, Lyn. Okay, just like naturally as thick and luscious. My bad.
So actually, I used to be, I remember once when someone says they pick their hair, I was like, why are you picking it? I was like, I didn't realize it at that time. Yeah. But it depends. If I do twists, I do pick because of the gaps and the, But anyways, as I was saying, it's actually better to use your fingers to detangle first. So even I did that. So whenever I'm detangling, I'll lather my hair with the pre-poo mix, which is it's conditioner and oil. Okay. Literally. Yeah. Mixed together. Lather it everywhere, leave it in for like 15 minutes, and then then I come and now detangle with, because now it's like it's infused, so it has slip, so I'm not fighting with it. So I'll take it in sections and I'll first detangle with my fingers, just like pull it apart, starting from the ends. Yeah. Natural hair, you don't start here, you start here to detangle. So I detangle like that. There are people who don't even use combs. There are people who have done natural hair without combs, and their hair thrives because, remember, less manipulation. You disturb it less. Yeah, the better. Yeah.
And do you think the longer it gets, the more you definitely have to do that?
Of course. Oh my gosh, it can become so matted.
Right. Because I might, like with mine, I don't mind combing it that much, or I don't struggle so much. But also my hair is like this much. There's not much of a struggle there anyway. But I can imagine. No. But I can imagine with like yours, it's a completely different ball game.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's actually easier to do it with your fingers, and then you retain length. You have less breakage that way. Right. And that's the thing with your hair. Our hair naturally clamps together in the curls that they come in. That's like, you see the way mine would have, like, let's say like this. That's a natural clamping. They just came together like that, the way they wanted, because I just now put product through it with my hands, and that's it. Okay. Yeah.
So we've got to wrap up, but I've got to ask you, what would you share with someone who's thinking of doing it but is still scared? What will people say? How will I manage it? They say it takes 2 days to wash your hair, or you need X amount of product. So what would you say to someone who's thinking about it and isn't sure?
I would say it's not as bad as you think. It's not as hard as you think. And there's a lot more support now. There's a lot more hair communities. There's a lot more products on the shelves. There's a lot more hairdressers who are better at it, so you can get help. So do it. It's a leap of faith. I won't lie. It's a leap of faith. You cannot be fully prepared for what you'll find on the other side. You can never really be fully prepared. Just take it. But there's a lot of support on the other side, and trust me, it's just hair. You can always just decide, you know what, I'm going to palm it again.
Right. And that's what I was going to say as well, that you realize that you were so attached to something, and that it was, like we were saying before, you were really a captive of your hair, and it doesn't make any sense.
And you didn't even realize it. Like for me, I didn't realize it.
Exactly.
Until I cut, and I was like,
what life was I living? So try it. And if you don't like it, like Lyn said, you just relax it again, cut it, braid it, whatever. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think this has been so exhaustive. And for anyone who's thinking of going natural, you now know what to do and what not to do, whether it's length or, volume you're chasing, helping with reverse breakage. You've got it covered. Lyn has got you. You can also check her out on Instagram, and she shares a lot of tutorials as well on like what to do with your hair, how to style it. Great resource. We've got to take a break, but when we come back, we'll dive into protective styling, and we'll actually even show you a couple of ways that you can style your hair if you've got natural hair. We'll be back in a moment.